Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we cleaned up this pocket out over here. It was a lot of units that we eliminated. And these guys are now on their way up to come and man this front here. And then the guys that are currently here are going to be pulled out of there and they're going to man this front. But they need to get there first. But I was doing my normal looking around before this episode and I noticed this. We can just move in right here and cut these guys off and link this up. So there's that. We'll give it a try. They might be able to block us off, but if that happens, it's going to make a big mess. And I'm not entirely sure how we're going to handle that mess yet. We'll see. Now we've got this down over here, which of course is pocketed-ish. But they're pushing out this direction, and we don't have many troops over there right now. And we're not sending many troops over there right now. Why don't you just stop whatever it is you're doing, and we'll see what you get redeployed to. You guys can stop as well. Who's here? Yeah, just stop. Just stop. 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 And we'll see where they get redeployed to. That's not ideal. Okay, so we're going to need to get some additional forces over here. We've got 24 divisions from Army 7 here, and from Army 27. Okay, they're on their way, so we'll have enough forces, but we might take some losses out over here. For the time being, that's probably fine. Now, I want to redo this attack order at this point, and we have 2 units here, I believe. Yeah, we've got Army Group 9 and Army Group 4. We really only need the one Army Group here. So let's piece out Army Group 9, and let's get these sorted into other locations. So here's a modern tank brigade. We'll move that right up there. Then we've got 23 units of infantry. I'm going to take 5 of these, and we're going to put them here. Actually, I wanted 6, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, we're going to move that right up over here. We have a single tank unit here. I want that to be moved in somewhere. I guess here will work. And where else do we want these to go? Well, this unit is fully infantry, and that can honestly just go right up over here. Now, where's the rest of these assigned? They're way up over here. I'm going to assign these guys to this army, or rather to this front, but they're a ways away. We might have a bit of an issue there. We'll see. Because we might leave an area undefended over here for a little while they transfer over. That's definitely not ideal, but okay. So same thing here. We're going to move them up, and they are going to go to this front. Then we've got these guys. This is all infantry as well. We want to take 6 of these and move them into here. And then we've got 1 additional unit. That can go here, but that's a tank unit, and we'll hold off on that for now. They can go here. And then what do we got over this way? Yeah, that'll work. So we'll get that army group moved on up. They are no longer going to be out over here. Now, this army group needs to change their frontline order, and that needs to be out over to here. I'm also going to delete their offensive line. This is no longer relevant. Their offensive line now really needs to be all the way up to right there. So I'll have them work on that, and that seems fine for the moment. So the African theater is pruned down, and we mostly have these units ready to go. Now we have 15 units of infantry here. Can we find a home for 15 units? Well, we can get 2 of them. And let me just do that. There we go. We can get 2 of them here. Where else do we need them? Well, we can put 1 here, and 1 here, and 2 here. So we can put 1 here. We can put 2 right over here, like that. And then this is tanks here, so we don't really want to put infantry into the tank battalions if we can help it. So the rest of these can honestly go into some sort of an overflow, or we can try to find a location. Hello, who are you? You're tanks. Okay. We can try to find a location where they can have up to 30 in their army, and we can try to put in some additional field commanders and such as well. So do we have a field marshal we can put in here? We do. We'll put him in. What about here? Do we have a field marshal? Yes. And in the American theater, we can put in a field marshal over here. That's all the field marshals we have for right now. But we can go through and put in more commanders, which I'm going to do. We'll put in this guy, we'll put in this guy, and this guy, and this guy. We've got a lot of commanders here. Most of these are from the Messy Theater. And I want to go through and check the Messy Theater and see if any of those are actually still viable. Like, if any of those are still necessary. We might move that into some sort of an overflow. But we're going to run out of generals now, and that's absolutely fine. That'll help matters. So checking through here in our European theater. What's up with you? Ah, right. This situation. We had them spread out over this direction. I just noticed that they were of 72. I'm looking for people who are of 30. But as of right now, there's not many of those outside of the African theater. So that's absolutely fine for right now. So I want to check each of these armies in the Messy theater. These guys are down over here. Come in here and wipe that if you can, but otherwise, just keep working on this. That seems fine. This is our Japanese front out over here, and why do we only have 11 divisions assigned to this? I guess they're frontlining over here? Maybe? It's very hard to see if that's the case. It's not showing them as being unassigned, so for now, that seems fine. Okay, we'll leave them there for now. Out over here is this unit. Now, they're supposed to be attacking up over this direction. They're struggling a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why they're struggling. They just have low organization. Okay. For the moment, it's fine. So we'll leave that be, but if they push up this direction, we might have an issue out over here, but that would be a short-term thing. And this is, of course, Australia, so no problem down there. Excellent. Okay, let's see what happens up over this way, but I'm going to sort these guys into a new theater down here, and we're going to call this the Overflow Theater. And that's where we're going to put people who don't have orders. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty much good to go at this point, and we'll have some reinforcements flowing out. That looks great. Okay, so out over this direction, we're getting some attacks launched. Out over here, we're actually being quite successful with these attacks. That looks good. And then up over this direction, the real question is, are they going to get anyone here in time? Well, we can launch an attack here and here to try to buy ourselves some time, but it's not going to be very likely that we actually buy much time at all. But it was enough. We bought enough time. Excellent. So these guys are now cut off. Get in here. I don't know why all of these are selected. It's going to be a little awkward here. I don't actually want you guys to leave. We want to be holding these areas. That would be nice. And why don't you stay here for now as well? Okay. So this is going to be a little bit awkward out over here. We knew that that would be the case. We have forces on the way. They're like up over here. And the question is, okay, this is just going to be up to, like, up over here that this cuts off, I think. No. Yeah, right here. It cuts off right here. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. We'll get reinforcements on up there. That seems okay. They're trying to break out over this direction. I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest. So they're going to try to break out over here. And we're not too concerned about that either. If that happens, it happens. We've got reinforcements on the way in. It's not a big deal. Okay, so down over this direction, we've got our forces coming in here. Why don't you see if you can encircle these? That'd be neat. And we don't have anyone in Adana right now. That's not ideal, that's for sure. But they're not currently going there. So they did move reinforcements into Aleppo. I'm not surprised about that, to be clear. That's very expected. And we're just continuing to slowly push in down over here. This front line needs to be slightly adjusted. There we go. Fully encircle that. Okay, let's check in on South America. How are things going over here? We stack wiped these guys, apparently. I'm not sure when that happened, but I am, of course, delighted. And we finished these supply hubs, or some of them anyway. Okay. So that looks good. We have much better supply out over here. I want to grab these guys. That's part of this army group. Okay. And hang on. This army group. There we go. I want to have an offensive line that's going to be... Are we not at war with the Republic of Cayenne? We're not. Just get in here, then. It really, really doesn't matter. Just clean this up, get this front eliminated so you can be redeployed down to other areas. That seems good. Okay, so out over here... Yeah, I'm not very surprised about this situation. Let's have you come in here. And this is pretty much what I expected to have happen over here. It was worth a try. But for the time being, we definitely need to get these guys right here. They're very, very close. There we go. So we're linked up, and we can now retreat this direction. No problem. So now, at this point, we have this army group that is heading in over here. There's no second army group on this side. This seems fine. So our reinforcements are going to be flowing in over here, and that's an interesting path to take. I mean... I can't say I'm opposed to them taking that path, but I have a feeling there are some people who will be opposed to that. We have this tank unit currently, they've got a bit of a problem. For the moment, I'll just leave it be. So we do see that there's these guys here that we'd like to stack wipe, and there just happens to be these tanks right here from this other army. So I'm going to utilize them to get this nice and stack wiped here. Okay, there we go. So that gets cleaned up. Fantastic. And then these guys are going to be redirected, and some of them are going to go by sea, but some of them are still going to try to push in by land. And I don't know. These guys are probably going to get stack wiped before anything happens in terms of getting forces over here. It's not a big deal. It's only one tank division. So that seems fine. This is less fine. They've managed to link this back up over here. Okay. Well, that does, of course, mean that this is all one army group frontline over here, and that's semi-convenient. Emphasis on semi-convenient, because they're attacking down this direction. But we have a distinct opportunity here to cut off their overextension. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so with that done, we can now take the units that are assigned to this, and once they get here, have them come on in. Now, these guys, they're going to continue pushing down this direction, but there's only so far that they're going to get. They're now cut off over here, and that seems great. I do want to change the offensive line over here. This offensive line is a little bit of a mess at this point. So let's go ahead and have this offensive line be about here, like that. I want to shorten up this front. I don't want to push too much up here, but I do want to push a lot down here. Okay. Now, as far as this goes, I want these tanks to come in and take Tel Aviv, while these infantry come in and take Jerusalem. Excellent. And now I want to come in and take El Arish here. Now, they're going to take Port Said, and I'm going to move some forces over here to try to defend that. We'll see if we get there in time. We did not. But we pushed them back out. Perfect. So they have basically no supply flow down here. They have a little bit, but it's really, really not much. We just stack wiped their unit in Tel Aviv. And I want you to continue to head down over this direction for now. And you just start driving in. Okay. As soon as this autosave is over, any moment now, I'm going to grab this tank unit, and it's going to start coming down here as well. So yeah, this is definitely an overextension on their part. So that looks good. Now, up over here. That's a little awkward. We do have forces moving over here at this point, and they'll be arriving over this direction. So that's noted. We're continuing to push in over here, and I'm not actually that convinced that we're going to make very much progress over here. Maybe a little bit. Potential opportunity here if we come down this direction and join up, but I don't think we're actually going to make progress here. So these guys are going to get redirected. That's okay. They're going to come around over here and make their way to this front. Once we have sufficient forces over here on this, then we can pull back these units and get rid of this front line and get them reoriented over to here. So that would be great, and potential opportunity here to go like that and link these guys back up. That'd be nice. I'm assuming we can do this. It's looking like we can. Any moment now. Why is it taking us so long to get there? Wow, it's taking us so long to get there. Why don't you start moving on over here? There you go. I just want to link these guys back up. That'll be fine. Okay, so this is a very messy front. There's no doubt about that. But we do see our forces really beginning to arrive over here. So I want to grab these guys, and I want to delete this army group order, which means that all of these units should get assigned over here. Now, it's going to take some of them some time to get to those new locations. That's absolutely understood. I don't know what this Army Group 2 order is here. I'm going to get rid of that. Did that break anything? I don't think so. Okay. So we're going to get these units moving, and that seems reasonably decent. So I'd really like to shrink this front line and make this front line a lot more coherent. At this point, I'm not sure how much of that we're actually going to do, though. Now, this is still happening over here, and I want to just head in, link this up, just get in here. Yeah, I know this is going to potentially be an issue, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to cut them off, not give them any supplies over here. So, get in here, and prevent them from going anywhere. Beautiful. And they are stack wiped. We see we're making progress on the African front now. That's very, very good. We're making rapid progress over here, actually. Excellent. We've been grinding away at this one for a while, but I think the new order is helping a lot over there. So this tank unit is still chilling here. That's understood. And we still have forces moving around over here. So we're not currently in our optimal strength at this moment. That's understood. And not really a problem. For the moment, I'm completely fine with this situation, although I would definitely like to see some forces making their way. We're gonna lose some ground out over here as we redeploy a bit. So one thing I want to do is I want to grab this front, and I want to shrink down the front a little bit. Specifically, I want to shrink it down to be here. Okay, so there we go. This army group is responsible for that, this army group is responsible for that, and then this army group is responsible for that, in theory. Beautiful. So as we move around, I do expect that we'll take a few losses here and there, but we'll find ourselves in a significantly improved position. Right. This army got assigned elsewhere. Well, this seems like a good opportunity to make use of this overflow army. Let's have them make their way up over here and see about blocking this with the entire army selected. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's going to take them time to get there. That was a mistake on my part. These guys are going to make some gains. but they might also overextend and give us an opportunity to finally clean up Crimea. Look at this. These guys are leaving this front line. Okay, I'm going to launch an attack here. Interesting. I'm going to maintain this attack. So we're waiting for this to end. We anticipate that that will last another 4 days. Yeah, we're going to take losses out over here. That's absolutely understood. We've got forces on the way, but it's going to take them some time. These guys are actually moving up pretty quickly, though. So that seems okay for now. So our Marines are currently attacking over here. And they are losing this. I'm going to launch this attack with our infantry now. Republic of Syria just capitulated. Okay. So that's noted. Get on in here. Let's do what we can and get these guys eliminated. This isn't going so well, but we got this cut off. That's a big deal. Okay. Yeah, that's going quite well now. Get these guys stack wiped. Get these guys stack wiped. Get in here. There's also this going on, which is, of course, obnoxious, but we're going to have this handled pretty quickly, in theory. I'm going to have these tanks move into here and cut them off if we can. Now, they're trying to march this way, but the tanks are nearly there, and we're delaying them. There we go. So the tanks have cut this off, and I want these guys to make their way over this direction. Just clean this. No, not like that. I want just one of these then. Clean this up. So we have these forces arriving up over here. This is a pretty big breakout, of course, that they're doing over here, but that's not surprising given the mistake that we made. It's absolutely fine. So we're going to work on this pocket up over here, and we can see we've gotten a lot of additional space down over here. So that is really, really, really good, actually. We're very close to linking these fronts here and getting this entire area encircled. That looks great. So I want to move one of these infantry units up to here, actually, and this one is going to move in here. Because we want to try to hold this position, right? That's for sure. We want to try to hold that position. But this is not going to be... Hang on. We're actually succeeding this attack right now. They've got a lot of forces out in Crimea, and we knew that that was the case. We had them pinned in, but I made a mistake. It's fine. Okay, so we need this unit to be stack wiped, and these guys that are down over here, get in here. Hi, console. Get in here, eliminate this, and get redirected. So that looks good for now. Here's another question. Do we want to deploy additional troops to deal with this breakout? Honestly, I feel like I don't. Because if we can get these guys to spread themselves out, that's good for us. In the meantime, this is collapsing. I think we focus our efforts here, collapse this, and then we can push this direction and have an army group respond to this. I don't think it's a problem. I do think this is a problem. This army group needs to have its front line extend down to here. But there we go. Why don't you get in here? Why don't you come in and help? I just want this stack wiped. And then I'm going to tell these guys that they're going to offensive line all the way up to here. I don't expect them to get anywhere with that, of course, but we'll see what we can get them to do. We can maybe cut some of this off and get this under control. And I'd love it if we could take a spot on the other side of this strait. That would be so huge. We're really close. Another 4 days here, huh? They're falling back. This is huge. Okay.
Hey, come on.
Reinforce this. Just continue the pressure here. And we'll see what ends up happening with all of this. Okay, these guys managed to get themselves in a bad spot. And they're probably going to get stack wiped. That's relatively okay. If we can just make it across here, this has been a thorn in our side for so long. Just continue doing this. 52 days? Oof. They're reinforcing this, and they have a lot of troops in Crimea. They always have. This is, every time they make a breakout here, this happens. Every single time. But look at this situation. This is going very badly for them at this time. So that looks great. We are absolutely delighted by this situation. This, not so much, but we're resisting them at least a little bit, and that will be absolutely fine for now. Now, this situation down here is largely under control. So I'm going to grab this army group. I'm going to change their offensive line, and I'm just going to push most of the way up Anatolia here. Not all of the way. Okay, we'll get started on that. That seems good. Why don't you just come on out over here, see about cleaning this up? Maybe we can shorten this front line. These guys are in a bad spot. Can you not? Can you not be in a bad spot? That would be nice. But alas, they're in a bad spot. It's okay. This situation is really, really, really bad for the enemy. So that looks good. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about wrapping up this front out over here. This is going to be huge. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.